More bad weather expected across the United States Midwest. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. A major multi-hazard storm barreling across the country is bringing the risk of strong tornadoes and flooding to the south and ice and snow to the plains and upper Midwest. The storm, which already brought deadly floods to California, was expected to pull moisture off the Gulf of Mexico into the south, where above normal temperatures have set the stage for severe thunderstorm. Over 2 million people were under tornado watches across parts of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Oklahoma as of Monday night. On top of the risk of tornadoes, the areas could see hail and powerful scattered winds gusts up to 70 miles per hour. In Jackson Parish, Louisiana, residents were told to stay off the road as the severe weather toppled trees and covered roadways with water. Jackson Parish Sheriff Department said tarps will be given out to those whose homes are damaged. I want to say big up to all you lucky people in Florida. Stay well there, enjoy yourself. Over in Haiti, the United Nations has warned that Haiti is on the verge of an abyss as conflicts rage and international dialogue remains the only hope for peace in the French-speaking Caribbean community. It's hard to overstate the extent to which the security institution in Haiti collapsed in 2022, said the United Nations in its review of 2022, noting that practically nowhere in the capital, Port-au-Prince, could be deemed safe as rival gangs fought over territory, terrorizing increasingly desperate citizens already struggling to survive a humanitarian catastrophe. She told the Security Council that even if a political solution could be found, it would not be sufficient to address the crisis. With armed gangs in charge of key transport routes in Haiti, the head of the World Food Program in Haiti, Jean-Martin Beer, warned that the country could see famine conditions unless a robust humanitarian aid plan is put in place. Beer believes that Haiti is facing an unprecedented crisis which could get even worse. For this reason, he said last month that there was no time to waste. Over in Jamaica, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness has confirmed that his administration has accepted the recommendation of the Director of Public Prosecutions to review the sentence guidelines for murder convictions. DPP Paula Llewellyn recently disclosed that her office will be recommending that the starting point for a sentence of life imprisonment for murder be increased from 30 years to 40 years before eligibility for parole. Ms. Llewellyn said this was largely influenced by last month's decision by the Court of Appeal to reduce to 20 years the 31-year prison term that convicted killer Kwesi Hart was ordered to serve before being eligible for parole. Hart is serving a life sentence for the October 26, 2016 stabbing death of 14-year-old Jamaica College student Nicholas Francis during an altercation on a bus. The National Road Safety Council is scheduled to meet with stakeholders on Thursday to evaluate and plan the way forward to reduce motor vehicle crashes. A record 488 people died as a result of motor vehicle crashes last year, 2022, compared with 487 who perished in 2021. Dr. Lucien Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, said the country has to respond to what he deemed a national crisis. He said a meeting with stakeholders on Thursday will assess last year's road data to determine what tools can be used to improve this situation. And here is my suggestion. My suggestion is to put a device on all cars so they cannot drive faster than 60 miles per hour in Jamaica. Buses and taxis should be reduced to 50 miles per hour. That device is available, and it can be done. That's the only thing that will reduce that amount of crashes in the island. A Jamaica Defense Force soldier died after he was involved in a vehicular collision on the Betheltown Main Road in Westmoreland on Sunday. He is 20-year-old Private Giovanni Morris of Lincoln District, Grange Hill in the parish. The Jamaica Defense Force said about 3:15, Morris was traveling in a patrol vehicle with another soldier when the vehicle collided with a water truck. Both soldiers were taken to hospital, where Morris later died. Police investigators in St. James are probing the shooting death of a man yesterday afternoon. The identity of the man has not yet been released. Reports are that about 12:30 p.m., the man was at a house in Bogue Hill in St. James when two men entered and fired several shots. The victim ran from the premises but was chased and shot multiple times, and he died on the spot. Meanwhile, one farmer is dead and another in police custody following a fight over $100 in Westfield District, Mavis Bank, St. Andrew on Monday morning. The dead man has been identified as 28-year-old Johnny Walker, otherwise called Teddy, a resident of the community. The other farmer is 21 years old. Police report that on New Year's Eve night, Walker and the other farmer had a dispute over $100, which is like a little over 50 cents US, while they gambled in Westphalia Square, and this led to a fight which residents intervened and parted. The police said about 9:30 on Monday morning, Walker was coming from a shop and heading to his bush with his machete in his hand when he confronted the suspect along School Road in the community. An altercation again developed which led to a fight, and during the fight Walker was stabbed several times in his torso. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police said the suspect, who was cut on his left hand and forehead, handed himself over to the Mavis Bank police station shortly after the incident. The Portland police are reporting that one of two suspects held last week in connection with two murders committed on Friday and Saturday has been charged. 32-year-old construction worker from Halls Avenue in Port Antonio, Richard Peng Downer, has been charged with murder. He is being represented by attorney-at-law John Jacobs and is to appear in the Portland Parish Court earlier this year. Downer was charged in connection with the death of 55-year-old Calvin James, otherwise called Jeggy, a resident of Janga Gully in Bournebrook. James was reportedly stabbed in the abdomen after an argument developed at a shop in Halls Avenue on Friday. A lone gunman has left a young child motherless after he shot and killed the mother in Seaford in St. Thomas 2 days before the first day of the new year. 30-year-old Tiana Ewart, popularly known as Tuki, a bartender of Seaford in the parish, was gunned down on Thursday night, leaving her family and friends in mourning for this year 2023. Reports are that about 6:45 p.m. Ewart had left work when she was approached by an armed man. A tussle ensued during which she was shot. Family members alerted the police and the injured woman was assisted to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Ewart's death has left her family, friends, and others who knew her in a state of shock and disbelief. And that is how violent the island has become. Onto sports, thousands of mourners began paying their respect to Pele in a solemn procession past his coffin at the Villa Belmora Stadium in his hometown of Santos on Monday. The Brazilian soccer great died last Thursday after a battle with cancer. The three-time World Cup winner was 82. Pele's coffin was placed on the field where he scored some of his best goals. Mourners walked past his casket in the midfield area of the 16,000-seat stadium outside Sao Paulo. A Catholic Mass will be celebrated there today before his burial at a nearby cemetery. Villa Belmira was decorated with Brazilian flags and the number 10 shirts that became popular after Pelé started wearing them for Santos and Brazil. Onto cricket, leading local hoteliers are hailing a 2020 cricket festival featuring former West Indies great Brian Lara and Chris Gayle, which is planned for January 15 as a grand opportunity to twin cricket with their community's tourism product. Jason Hensel, chairman of the family-owned Jake's Resort, as well as Jack's Pratt Restaurant and Bar, and David Fulham, operator of the Lashing Boutique Hotel and Villa, said that the cricket festival to be held at the Treasure Beach Sports Park could also help to boost interest in the game locally and beyond. And the festival, planned and organized by former West Indies fast bowler Darren Powell, with the support of Treasure Beach community leaders, will also blend well with the revival of the community youth cricket program, which was put on hold in 2020 following an onset of the coronavirus. Hensel said people like Brian Lara and Gayle will inspire the young for the greater good of West Indies cricket. And Fulba, as you know, is an Englishman who came to Jamaica and built his resort there. And just so you know, this news broadcast can be heard on YouTube at Jamaican Undiluted News, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day, everybody. I gone.